Hey everyone, John here! And yesterday, a lot of info came out on Switch 2 games. Most of them are listed on the eShop, so we've got details about their pricing, about how large they are in file size, we've got videos about those. And also in retail stores, we figured out which games are on keycards, which is most third-party games, including all of Sega's games. But there's a lot more to say about Sega. So first up, they are bringing 5 games to Switch 2 that we know of right now. There's Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, Sonic X Shadow Generations, Rider Remastered, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, and 2 Point Museum, which we haven't seen a whole lot of yet. I guess that's further away in the launch window. But those other 4 games, all high-quality games. But one big problem they all share is not a single one has an upgrade pack. And for Sonic X Shadow Generations in particular, that's a really new game. And you might be thinking, okay, upgrade packs aren't standard, right? Well, they kind of are. I mean, let's look at just the regular Switch 2 games on the Nintendo site here. As you can see, there's some Nintendo first-party games like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Kirby, Mario Party Jamboree. They differ from $9.99 to $19.99, depending on whether they have an expansion or not. But then there's other third-party games which absolutely have an upgrade pack, like Civ 7 here for $9.99. Or, let's see, we have Rune Factory, which, while it doesn't list it here, if we go on the page itself, we can see that that has an upgrade pack for $10. And the same is also true for Story of Seasons, which again we've got to click on to see the upgrade path, which is also $10. So there's definitely at least 3 third-party games there which are doing the upgrade pack. And not to specifically pick on Sega here, because Konami are doing this too. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster launched last month, and there is no upgrade path, which sucks. I bought that game physically on Switch 1, hoping that we could just upgrade it to the Switch 2 version, but no. They have got that game on sale up until before launch, so if you didn't buy it on Switch 1, that's the time to do it. And there are some performance issues with the Switch 1 version, so I was really hoping to get a free upgrade, but apparently not. But let's talk a bit more about Sega. So, again, a big problem with most of these third-party games is they come on keycards. So let's look right here. You can see Sonic X Shadow Generations, keycard. Rider Remastered, keycard. Yakuza 0, keycard. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, keycard. And where this becomes a little bit more confusing is Rider Remastered is also coming to Switch 1. And I think this is the one where we can say, okay, there's no upgrade path. You know, it's coming out after the system. It's like mid-June. We're talking a week after the system. So if you wanted the Switch 2 version, like, it's not like you're going to be robbed out of a purchase there, because you can just buy them on Switch 2. I still think there should be an upgrade, but it's not the worst of it all. But this Switch 1 version right here has no download. It's all on the game card. So I'm actually a bit of a loss here, where I'm like, okay, do I want to buy this game on Switch 1 or Switch 2? It really depends on how well Switch 1 performs, because if Switch 1 performs perfectly fine, I think I'd rather have it on the game card. So that's just a big dilemma there. And again, Sonic X Shadow Generations, here's what they say on the official Sonic website. The Nintendo Switch version cannot be upgraded to the Nintendo Switch 2 version. The same applies to DLC. So if you were thinking, John, hold your horses, maybe the upgrade path just isn't up yet. No, there isn't one. But they also say your save data can be transferred from the Switch version to Switch 2, but not vice versa. So there is a save data transfer. They were aware people owned this game on Switch 1 and wanted to transfer their stuff over, but you've still got to buy it again. It's baffling. It pretty much is a standard to upgrade your Switch games to Switch 2 if there is a new version, but Sega is not abiding to that, it just blows. It just blows to see. Now, I will say, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut is a brand new game for Nintendo, and it's a brand new game in general. I didn't give this game the credit it deserves when talking about it yesterday. So the Director's Cut is a new version of Yakuza 0, and it comes with an entire English dub, which the original game never had. There's also new cutscenes sprinkled throughout the game, more extra stuff, but there's also an online mode where you can fight cooperatively with 4 people online and just do a bunch of brawls together. That's big. That's really big. I was saying yesterday that it's a bit baffling that the game doubled in size from 22 gigabytes to around 50 gigabytes. And that's still a big jump, but it's a bit more justified with how much more is in there. And this is also running at 4K 60, unlike the PS4 Pro version, which was 1440p 60. So it's the best performing console version, there's new stuff, there's an online mode. Yes, it comes on a game key card, which sucks, but this is actually quite an appealing one. So I'll give them credit with Yakuza. It's really Sonic and Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, which I have an issue with. So Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, $39.99. And there's a big concern I have with this one. So what's it even adding? We don't know the resolution. I'd imagine 4K. There's no reason it really shouldn't be 4K. It adds 2 new modes, though. There is a co-op mode, where 2 of you share a board together. And honestly, I think that's really rad. You can just sort of build together on the same board. That's never really been done before. I think that's really cool. And there's also a mouse mode, which makes you wonder why isn't this in the PC version. But it's exclusive to the Switch 2 version. You know, I'm fine with those 2 new modes. I think they sound cool. I want to play them. Absolutely I do. But it's just weird that this isn't an upgrade. The standard Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 is very cheap now. If you go on eBay, you'll find it for peanuts. And so you have to buy this more expensive version now, even if you already own it. But the big concern I have is Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 has a weird standard where it's not cross-platform. And I'm not talking about PS4 playing against Switch and Xbox and PC. I'm talking about PS4 playing with PS5. They are different versions. PS4 players cannot play with PS5 players in Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. So my major concern is that Switch 2 players cannot play against Switch 1 players in Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. And if you have played Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, you'll know the online community is thriving in that game, especially in Japan. A lot of Japanese players play that every single day, and it is quite worrying that the community is now going to be split up between these 2 versions despite them really being the same game. This isn't confirmed that they won't be cross-platform, but given the standard exists on PlayStation, I would not be shocked at all. And also, this is 3.9 gigabytes. Why is this on a game key card? It's a whole thing. It sounds like right now only 64 gigabyte cartridges seem to exist. There was a statement a while back that there were 2 variants, a low capacity version and a 64 gig one, and it sounds like that low capacity one is the game key card. So I think it's just 64 gigabyte. So it is expensive for developers to pay for that. So I guess that's why we're seeing so many game key card versions, but man, just manufacture smaller game cards as well, man. Like, Switch 1 had so many variants. There's 2 gigs, 4 gigs, 8 gigs, 16 gigs, 32 gigs. I don't understand why 64 is really the only one, and then even games that are really large in file size aren't using it. Like, Cyberpunk is one of the only third-party games to actually be using game cards. There are others. Marvelous Games in the West are using actual cartridges, which is good. But, man, Sega really aren't looking good here. Everything on a game key card. No upgrade paths. Even for games that are mere months old. It sucks to see, and I'm just sorry if you bought these games on Switch 1 and were hoping to easily upgrade them on Switch 2. Especially because I want to play these on Switch 2. I think Sonic X Shadow Generations, portable, 60 FPS, sounds like a delight. Those new Puyo Puyo modes sound delightful. And I think we can give credit to Yakuza. Yes, you should be on a cartridge, but everything else about that game is pretty justified, and the price isn't that bad. Of course, it's double what most Yakuza Zeros are worth, but it's also a new version of Yakuza 0, so I think that one can skate by. But it's really Sonic and Puyo Puyo where I'm like, what are you doing here? What do you do? What you do? What do you do? You know? That's what I'm saying. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.